The lights dimmed slightly as the audience settled into their seats for another episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, the energy buzzing with anticipation for the night's star guest, Kim Kardashian. She strode onto the stage with her signature confidence, her outfit a shimmering ensemble that caught every camera flash, turning heads and eliciting cheers from the crowd. Jimmy, ever the affable host, welcomed her with his trademark grin, shaking her hand and gesturing for her to sit on the plush couch. The conversation started light-hearted, delving into her latest business ventures, from S-chems to her skincare line, with Jimmy tossing in his usual quips that drew laughs. But as the interview progressed, the tone shifted when Jimmy playfully teased her about her past relationships, a topic that had been fodder for tabloids for years. Kim's eyes narrowed just a fraction, but she smiled through it at first, responding with poise. However, Jimmy didn't let up, pushing the envelope with a joke about her ex-husband Kanye West's antics, implying she had dodged a bullet. The audience chuckled nervously, sensing the undercurrent of tension. Kim leaned forward, her voice steady but laced with an edge. "You know, Jimmy, it's funny how you sit here night after night, making fun of people's lives while hiding behind your desk. But let's talk about you for a change." The crowd gasped, the atmosphere thickening as she began to unravel his facade. She brought up his own failed relationships, his public feuds with other celebrities, and how his show sometimes relied on cheap laughs at others' expense. Jimmy tried to interject with humor, but Kim was relentless, her words sharp and calculated, exposing hypocrisies in his career that many had whispered about but never voiced on air. The host squirmed in his seat, his laughter forced as Kim continued. "You've built a career on being the nice guy, but let's be real. Jimmy, how many times have you thrown shade just to boost ratings?" The audience was split, some cheering her on, others stunned into silence. She didn't stop there, delving into his political commentary, questioning his sincerity when he mocked certain figures while aligning with others for convenience. Jimmy's face reddened, his attempts to steer the conversation back failing miserably as Kim dominated the exchange. It was a masterclass in verbal sparring, her poise contrasting his growing discomfort. As the segment dragged on, it became clear that this wasn't just an interview, it was a takedown. Kim cited specific instances from past shows where Jimmy had crossed lines, backing her points with facts that left him scrambling for responses. The producers in the control room were likely panicking. But the live broadcast rolled on, capturing every awkward moment. By the time the commercial break loomed, Jimmy looked defeated, his usual charisma dimmed. Kim sat back, a satisfied smile playing on her lips, having turned the tables in spectacular fashion. But the real shock was yet to come. As the interview resumed after the break, the tension palpable. Jimmy tried to recover, asking about her family, but Kim redirected. "Let's not pretend this is friendly chat anymore. You've disrespected me and countless others for laughs." The audience murmured, the energy electric. She stood up abruptly. "Microphone still in hand. I'm done here. Thanks for the platform, Jimmy, but next time, think before you speak." With that, she walked off stage, leaving Jimmy stunned and the crowd erupting in a mix of applause and boos. The shocking exit sent ripples through social media, clips going viral within minutes. Analysts later debated if it was scripted or genuine, But one thing was clear: Kim had destroyed Jimmy's composure live on air, redefining celebrity interviews forever. The fallout was immense, with fans praising her empowerment and critics calling it rude. But Kim emerged, stronger, her brand untarnished. In the aftermath of Kim's explosive appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the internet exploded with reactions, memes flooding every platform as users dissected every second of the confrontation. Hashtags like Kim destroys Jimmy and face-shocking exit trended worldwide, with celebrities weighing in from both sides. Some, like her sister Khloe, posted supportive messages calling it a boss move, while others in the comedy world defended Jimmy, claiming it was all in good fun. But the video clips told a different story, showing Jimmy's face paling as Kim laid into him with precision. She had prepared, it seemed, armed with knowledge of his past interviews, where he had mocked her family, her businesses, and even her parenting choices. "You laugh at my life, but what's so funny about yours?" she had quipped, turning the mirror on him. The audience's gasps echoed through the studio, amplifying the drama. As the segment replayed on YouTube, views skyrocketed, breaking records for late-night TV moments. Commentators noted how Kim's delivery was calm yet cutting. A far cry from heated arguments, it was intellectual dismantling. She referenced his monologue from years ago, where he joked about her wedding, tying it to his own divorce humor. That fell flat. Jimmy's responses grew weaker, his jokes landing like lead balloons. The turning point came when she questioned his authenticity. "Are you hosting a show or just reading cue cards for applause?" The crowd's mixed reactions added to the chaos, some standing in ovation as she continued her barrage. Producers attempted to cut to commercial early, but the live nature kept it going, exposing the raw vulnerability. Post-show, Jimmy issued a statement via social media, trying to play it off as entertaining banter, but the damage was done. Kim, on the other hand, posted a cryptic Instagram story with a queen emoji, letting her actions speak louder. Media outlets scrambled for exclusives, interviewing audience members who described the tension as palpable, like watching a verbal boxing match. One fan recounted how Kim's exit was so abrupt. Security seemed caught off guard, escorting her out amid cheers. The shocking part wasn't just the walk-off. It was how she left Jimmy speechless, a rare feat for the seasoned host. Speculation arose about behind the scenes drama. Had Jimmy's team approved the questions, or was it impromptu? Insiders leaked that Kim had warned against certain topics, but Jimmy pushed anyway, leading to the destruction. Late-night rivals like Stephen Colbert referenced it in their monologues, praising Kim's assertiveness. The event sparked broader discussions on celebrity boundaries, with experts analyzing power dynamics in interviews. Kim's empire only grew, her products selling out as fans rallied behind her. Jimmy's ratings dipped temporarily, forcing him to address it in subsequent episodes with self-deprecating humor. But the legacy of that night lingered, a reminder that even icons like Kim could flip the script. As videos circulated, edited versions with dramatic music amplified the intensity, turning it into pop culture lore. Friends of Jimmy revealed he was shaken, reconsidering his approach to guests. Kim, ever the businesswoman, capitalized with a limited edition merch drop inspired by the moment. The shocking exit wasn't just physical. It was a statement of self-respect, resonating with millions who felt empowered by her stand. Delving deeper into the build-up before Kim's appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Sources close to the production revealed tensions had been simmering for weeks. Booking Kim was a coup for the show, given her massive following, but negotiations were tricky. Her team insisted on veto power over sensitive topics, but Jimmy's style thrived on spontaneity, leading to clashes. On the day of taping, Kim arrived early, poised and professional, chatting with staff backstage. Jimmy greeted her warmly, but insiders noted a subtle frostiness. As the show began, the opening monologue included light jabs at celebrities, including a nod to Kim's reality TV roots, setting a playful yet precarious tone. When she joined him, the initial exchange was cordial, discussing her advocacy work and philanthropy. But Jimmy couldn't resist veering into personal territory, asking about her dating life post-divorce. Kim deflected gracefully at first. "I'm focused on my kids and empire," but his persistence irked her. The destruction began subtly, with Kim countering, "Why are we always talking about my relationships? Let's discuss yours. How's single life treating you?" "Jimmy," the audience tittered, but he laughed it off. Undeterred, she escalated, pointing out inconsistencies in his public persona versus private life, citing articles about his own heartbreaks. Jimmy's smile faltered, his retorts less sharp. She wove in critiques of late-night TV culture. "Shows like yours profit from drama, but at what cost to real people?" The crowd's energy shifted, hanging on her every word. As minutes ticked by, Kim's monologue, like takedown, covered ground from his Oscar-hosting gigs to his feuds with politicians, questioning if his humor masked deeper insecurities. Jimmy tried to pivot to a game segment, but Kim refused. "No games. Let's keep it real." The producers signaled for a wrap, but the live feed captured the unfiltered exchange. Her words flowed like a prepared speech, each point landing with impact, leaving Jimmy defensive. The shocking exit loomed as she sensed the segment's end, standing mid-sentence. "I've said my piece. Now it's time for me to go." Dropping the mic figuratively, she strode off, heels clicking, echoing in the stunned silence. Backstage chaos ensued, with staff buzzing about the unprecedented moment. Jimmy libbed to fill the air, joking nervously, but the damage was evident. Post-broadcast, legal teams reviewed footage for any liabilities, but it was clean, just raw television. Kim's phone blew up with messages of support from peers like Oprah and Beyoncé, solidifying her status. Analysts predicted a boost in her influence, while Jimmy faced scrutiny from network execs. The event became a case study in media courses, highlighting guest-host dynamics. Fans recreated the scene in TikToks, amplifying its reach. Kim later hinted in an interview that it was spontaneous, born from years of accumulated frustration. Jimmy, in a podcast, admitted it caught him off guard, but respected her candor. The shocking exit symbolized a shift, empowering celebrities to push back against invasive questioning. Exploring the cultural impact of Kim Kardashian's confrontation with Jimmy Kimmel. It's evident this wasn't just a TV moment, but a catalyst for change in entertainment. Social media platforms lit up with debates, feminists hailing it as a win against misogynistic humor, while comedians worried about chilled speech. Clips amassed billions of views across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, with edits adding slow motion effects to Kim's key lines. "You think you're untouchable behind that desk," became a viral soundbite used in countless remixes. Jimmy's show saw a temporary ratings spike from curiosity, but long-term, It prompted introspection. He addressed it in a follow-up episode, inviting a panel to discuss boundaries, turning lemons into lemonade. Kim, meanwhile, leveraged the buzz for her brands, launching a "Speak Your Truth" campaign that sold out apparel. Critics analyzed her strategy. By staying composed, she avoided looking petty, instead appearing empowered. The destruction was methodical, starting with personal jabs, then broadening to industry critiques, like how hosts exploit vulnerabilities for laughs. Audience polls showed divided opinions, with younger viewers siding with Kim, seeing it as accountability. Older demographics defended Jimmy's right to jest. The shocking exit inspired parodies on SNL, with impersonators nailing the drama. Media scholars compared it to historic TV blow-ups like Joan Rivers' Feuds, but noted Kim's modern twist via social amplification. Her exit wasn't rage-fueled. It was deliberate. A power move signaling she wouldn't tolerate disrespect. Backlash included accusations of diva behavior, but supporters countered that male guests often clap back without scrutiny. Jimmy's team reportedly reached out for reconciliation, but Kim remained silent, letting the narrative unfold organically. The event boosted her podcast listens, where she later reflected subtly on the experience. Globally, it resonated, with international outlets translating clips, sparking similar discussions in other countries' media. Comedians like Amy Schumer praised her, while others like Bill Maher critiqued the sensitivity. The fallout extended to booking practices, with shows now vetting questions more rigorously. Kim's empire expanded, partnerships flooding in from brands aligning with empowerment. Jimmy evolved his style, incorporating more empathetic interviews. The video script of that night became legendary, studied for its pacing and rhetoric. Fans theorized if it was planned, but evidence suggested genuine spark. Ultimately, it humanized both, showing vulnerabilities in the spotlight. The shocking exit closed the chapter dramatically, but opened doors for evolved discourse in late-night TV. Reflecting on the personal ramifications for both Kim and Jimmy post the infamous episode, it's clear lives were altered in subtle ways. Kim reported feeling liberated, confiding to friends that standing up felt therapeutic after years of public scrutiny. Her children, though shielded, learned from it about self-advocacy. Professionally, it reinforced her as a force, attracting high-profile collaborations. Jimmy, conversely, took a hit to his ego, sources saying he replayed the tape obsessively, vowing to adapt. His next interviews were noticeably softer, earning praise for growth. The destruction replayed in headlines, with tabloids digging into their histories for context. Kim's past appearances on the show were friendly, making this turnaround shocking. She had guested multiple times, promoting ventures, but this time, boundaries were crossed. Her retorts were laced with facts, referencing a 2018 joke about her body, that body shamed subtly. Jimmy's apologies came via proxies, but publicly, he owned it humorously. The audience's role was pivotal, their reactions fueling the intensity. Cheers for Kim emboldened her, while boos added edge. The shocking exit prompted security protocols reviews, ensuring smoother handling. In memoirs years later, both might recount it differently, but contemporarily, it was raw. Kim's social metrics soared, followers increasing by millions. Jimmy's show adapted segments like Real Talk, Corners. The event transcended entertainment, inspiring